the same. Although we have not lost him to the grave, we have indeed lost an icon within the Montserrat community. A friend, a father, and in his own right, a celebrity. Every man dies, but not every man lives. Class, I say tonight without reservation that James Wallace, Radio Fenton, has indeed lived. Class dismissed.
When you know you're Montserratian, nothing more, nothing less. I know that I qualify because I oppose Montserratian values. I'm culturally Montserratian and Montserratian residency, no question. So, as I urge Montserratian hearts to beat together in unity, moving forward positively, take a trip down memory lane. Stop, look, listen. Do you remember me? Standing majestically at the gate of Plymouth Old Farmer City, I was the landmark at the roundabout, the evergreen tree. I command you never to forget it. For decades, since the 1800s, I have stood tall and strong, proudly guarding my beloved city. I once stood within a large area of land, but the people recognized my importance and established an elaborate roundabout all around me. This occurred in the early 1980s as an initiative of town and country planners. The Montserrat National Trust took very good care of me and maintained my surroundings. Here, I had a special place where my people could gather as a community into love and peace. Under my widespread branches, vendors traded their goodies, shoppers rested and laid their heavy bags. School children told their stories, lovers met, and relationships were kindled. I was so old that I observed the erection of the buildings from which Radio Antilles eventually operated its studio and office an arm's length away from me. Also, Let's two-story building in the 1970s. In 1981, although not completed at once, I witnessed the construction of the four-story building that housed Arrow's Man Shop, Montserrat Stationery Center, Tots and Teens, and back then, Gem FM, now known as CSS. Parliament Building was a wonderful piece of craftsmanship. However, I could not forget the building just behind me, Glen Innes, the office of Mr. David Brandt, who operated a successful law firm by day, and the basement, the entertainment capital by night, La Cave. Being stagnant though had its advantages, as nothing ever missed me. I could tell you whose case was going to be fixed today, yesterday, and next month. Date, place, and time, just from the echoing sounds coming from Mrs. Joseph's shop. I knew when you, your mother, and your family members were traveling, as I saw when the tickets were booked at Carib World Travel just below me. Oh, I remember Queen's birthday parade. How I adored watching Aubrey as he led the troops. Uniforms neatly ironed, and boots so shine I could see my branches as they waved to them a worthy hello and a heart-wrenching goodbye. I loved the Christmas season, where the spirit of Christmas came alive under my branches and around me. I was a special landing spot for Montserratians and visitors returning for the holidays and festivals. Vehicles from north, south, and east crossed lanes around me, while masqueraders danced. String bands entertained the people, and John Bull, he teased the children under my watchful eye. Troops and groups, resplendent in brightly colored costumes, paraded around me. I looked down upon many revelers who eagerly waited for the bands that jump up to dance to the music of the festive season. In 1989, Hurricane Hugo tried to bring me to my knees. But I re-established my stature, and my name became a symbol of strength and endurance. I refused to be beaten back. The volcano has since then unleashed on me, and it has been tough. Indeed, it has turned our lives upside down. But to ensure the safety of my people, I love them to leave me. I stoop now. But one day, I will rise from the ashes and tell many more stories of life in Plymouth and of the Christmases of long ago. Montserratians, whatever your focus in life, we assess your inner strength. Push your roots deep, spread your branches, encompass the change, and forge ahead. Evergreen, green all year round. Typical of Montserrat, the rock, our paradise, where die-hard, dedicated Montserratians persist. So take a leaf from me, the evergreens, and let us all strive to excel, because no matter what may befall us, we will always be proud Montserratians.
All night. Oh, Basilio, Christmas come. Are you? Me used to catch mountain chicken and all. Oh, we make me money. But I want my favorite things to do besides the dancing. Oh, so the mountain chicken know how I see this, and me can't catch them no more. The people them who work up an environment go all on the radio go talk about this crap. So they tell me, George Bam, you need to stop catch the chicken. So me ask, we got for? No, they said, the mountain chicken. Oh, the crapper. But why? I hope me make my living. Me catch them and sell them to who want to eat them. And me keep a few for myself. So, they sit me down and tell me this one long old devil story about the crappers. Well, George, the leptodactylus phalanx, you what? You know that? Basil, you know that? Yes, George. The leptodactylus phalanx, also known as the mountain chicken, is one of the largest frogs found in the world. They are currently classified as critically endangered, meaning their population numbers are rapidly decreasing. These frogs were once found on 6 Caribbean islands, but now only exist on Dominica and here in Montserrat, mainly in the Center Hills. The volcanic activity that started in 1995 resulted in habitat loss and direct damage to the animals, further devastating the population. In addition to this, the deadly chytrid fungus hit the Dominican population in 2002, wiping out the vast majority of the frogs found there. The mountain chicken's survival was further placed at risk by the weekly arrival of the food boat from Dominica, as it was easy for a small tree frog or cane toad to stow away as part of cargo. These frogs are carriers of the deadly fungus, but are completely unaffected. The chytrid fungus causes an advanced skin disorder that results in the thickening of the skin and ultimately heart failure. Despite efforts to prevent the spread of the fungus outside of Dominica, it reached Montserrat in February 2009, where it started killing our mountain chicken. Quickly, the environmental team responded before the entire species became extinct. Homes were found for about 50 mountain chicken in the United Kingdom by Jura Wildlife Conservation, as well as in Sweden at Part4.m4v. The captive breeding program proved successful, and with an increased number, these frogs formed a part of a safety net population in the event of their extinction in the wild. Our frogs proved resilient like our people. With an increased number, they were returned home in January 2011. It is important, however, that we remember to allow the mountain chicken's population to continue to increase and stop with the hunting. Imagine, just think about it, a little frog, resilient just like us. Ayo, hear that? Me soon could go back to catch the chicken, but not yet. We're going to let them go a little bit, but me not catch them yet. Anyway, me going back a mountain.
Who is the island's most multi-talented entertainer? Who is Montserrat's most effective earthworker?
one broadcaster who has had the greatest number of name changes in the 21st century, who is the most celebrated happy show Montserrat has ever seen. In my opinion, the answer to all these questions is one unique individual. Basil Tom Sawyer. Pay attention. Ola Soka, Jean Ball, and Tibush. After 2011, Chikmongya, born in Leeds and raised by his grandmother, a staunch Adventist, a strict disciplinarian, Basil attended the Leeds Primary School. He often said it takes a whole village to raise one child. He often expresses his gratitude for his earthly family, which he clearly exceeds in. He answers tough challenges with prayer, and his faith helped him to maintain a positive spirit, which he always seemed to have. His rise in his career, which he clearly excels in, is based on a number of God-given talents. These include his quick wit, his ability to think on the spot, his ability to motivate and create new ideas one after the other, masquerading, acting, and the list goes on. He was twice Soca Monarch champion with his songs, pay attention, and Mega Business. He came second runner-up in the Calypso competition and went on to represent Montserrat in the regional soca competition and Carry Festa. His interest in broadcasting started him off at Radio Antilles, where he worked for a few years as a sports journalist and announcer. Over the ensuing period, Basil solidified his position as one of the most well-rounded broadcasters on the island. Well, sir. He also had the opportunity to work along with Rose Willock, James White Jr., Keith Stonegraves, and Kevin Lewis. He also had the privilege to team up with regional media stalwarts like Ken Richards, Peter Richards, Joe Dominique, and Julian Roberts, also known as Grandma's Watchdog. His early morning show called Papi Show Friday is the most interactive way for folks to call in. And don't forget to say morning, because manners is of good importance. How can we forget his birthday bashes and his year-end yearly birthday bashes? I wish I could say a lot more about him. Basil, I appreciate you. I love you. This is my tribute to you, a unique Montserrat. So join with me as I show my appreciation for none other than Basil Chambers.
No, I've never seen myself. Wait, that's how I get down for real?
No, did you see what Justin was doing on
like
the
that?
Yes.
That's George Bam.
No, Tiffany did George Bam, Justin did you.
Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, that's at the end of the cultural presentation. Please put your hands together for all the delegates.